Hello, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing and abundant Tuesday. As we walk into this word that God has given me to share, I really trust and pray that you are having an amazing, fit, admin life type of day. What does that mean, Charmekia, you might ask? Fit, healthy, abundant, blessed, that you are the best version of who you were created to be today. That you are standing in your admin life, right? Your leadership life. That you are leading strong, that you are leading boldly, that you are leading courageously, and that you are doing this thing called life. That you are doing it well, that you are enjoying it, that you are resting, that you're taking a moment to pause and restore. Today is June 30th, and in the school world, today marks the end of the school year, and it begins on July 1, a new fiscal year, a new school year series. And so SY27, school year 26, and its fiscal business closes out today, June 30th. It's the day that a lot of people are ending their time in their districts and their organizations, and they are preparing to walk into their next leg of their journey on tomorrow, July 1st. It's the ending of a season. It's the beginning of a season. And that can be very scary. It's scary for the people who are shifting. And it's scarier sometimes for the people who are left behind to remain. All of the what ifs come into play. What if things don't get better? What if the next person who comes in changes everything? What if things this? What if that? Like the what ifs go through the roof. And sometimes it's not a matter of what ifs. It's like, oh my goodness, I can't wait until these transitions happen. I can't wait till these people get out of here. I can't wait for the new people to start. I'm so excited about who's coming. Sad to see some go. Happy to see some go, sad to see some leave, happy to see, like we go through these emotions when transition happens. And as leaders in the space, whether we're coming in, whether we're leaving out, whether we're remaining, the transitions make a difference. How do we transition our teams? How do we transition ourselves? How do we sit in the season that we're in the season that we're going to, in that awkward space of the transition? The transition is so awkward. It's so uncomfortable. Like people who know school district life, it's a really, really awkward space starting in like March, right? After you've done the evaluations and you have to meet the state deadlines to let people know if they're coming back or not. That March 15th deadline. As you begin to embark on that, and then you get to the next set of deadlines where people have to know what position they'll be in. Like you go through these series of dates that we have to meet, and it creates this really awkward season from March through June. Let's see. March to April, April to May, May to June. 3 months. 3 months. So the last 2 months of the school year are absolutely weird. And then the last month, when most people are going in and out of school, but the district is still functioning and wrapping up the year, and the school leaders are wrapping up and doing their reflection work and gathering their data and making sure things are closed out, making sure all their paperwork is submitted, making sure everything is done and tight, and they begin their planning work for the next school year. That is such an important and crucial time of the year that has the greatest impact on culture, but it's also the most out of control. It's the most emotionally weighted. It's the most emotionally charged. And it's when most people are absolutely, undeniably exhausted. I mean, exhausted. We've all seen the memes, right? Of the teacher or the principal or the educator walking into school the first day, like excited, bulletin boards and new outfits and ready to welcome the students, ready to welcome their staff, super excited to bring their people in for a new year and whatever cool themes we've come up with, rocking and rolling, excited. Usually by like August, mid-August especially, that's actually kind of late, by beginning of August, late July, people are like, oh my gosh, what's my theme going to be? What am I doing next year? And the excitement is bubbling over. And so in these memes you see this excitement and this joy and this expectation for the new school year. And then you actually also see the end of the school year and they look like a skeleton, or they look like somebody who been through a zombie war. The apocalypse has come. They crawl into the finish line. It's like the life is sucked out of you and you are just barely making it. It's like you've been in a war. Because whether people say it or not, every single school year, every single year, whether you're in education or something different, comes with different things. Unforeseen challenges, unforeseen losses, unforeseen shifts, and some that are really, really amazing and excellent. Things that happen that are great, and other things that are really, really painful. And we tend to go through these cycles and we don't pause. We don't stop. We take a deep breath and we keep trudging through. We take a deep breath and we keep trudging through. And sometimes we don't even take a deep breath. We take a deep breath and we hold it because we need that oxygen to just stay. We're afraid that if we exhale, we won't have the strength to take another breath. Because we go through cycles of exhaustion and we keep pushing ourselves. See, Fit Admin Life is not about just this crazy, goofy name that I came up with. No, God gave me this name and He had me to spell it with Y's, because we have to remember what we are rooted in and why we do what we do. Because that's what often keeps us going when we're exhausted. That's what keeps us grounded to make the hard decisions and the right decisions. Decisions that go from everything from why we have a plan, why we have a theme, why we focus on certain targeted goals and key indicators. Why are we doing this particular focus of professional development and learning this year? Why are we no longer doing this thing that we've always done? Why are we changing? Because we have to have clear goals. And a lot of times it goes back to our why as leaders. Why do I do this work? Why am I a part of this organization? What is the why of this organization and this team? And what will we focus on and ensure that no matter what we do, we center this? And those pieces are crucial in the exhausted seasons and the transition seasons, because that's when it's easiest to lose sight, because everybody's wiped out and worn out. Everybody's ready to quit. Everybody's ready just to do the fun stuff. And the hard work doesn't get completed sometimes. Or it gets halfway completed. Or it gets completed just enough. Because we're exhausted. So on this last day of June, June the 30th, 2026, 6/30/26, I encourage you to just take a moment to breathe and to exhale. Don't take a breath and hold it. And if you do, hold it for 10 seconds and then slowly release for 12. Do that about 3 to 4 to 5 times so that you can reset the oxygen in your brain, reset and calm your body, so that you can get yourself out of a place of fight mode and running and be able to slow down enough to be who you are called to be on today, to walk in your fullness and your healthy self. It is really hard to lead and to move during seasons of transition and exhaustion because the clarity is not always there. The emotions, the feelings are heavy, and they play such a part if we're not careful. So how do you lead from your fullness? How do you lead from your flow? How do you lead during the transition season? How do you lead during the difficult spaces that bring so much? Whether you're staying or going, whether you have key team members staying or going, whether you have new people coming or going, whether they're supervisors or employees or colleagues, the transitions always bring about fear and the unknown. The grieving of losing the people who you've gotten to know over a course of time kicks in. And everybody starts to feel the emotions of that person or those people who are leaving. And they sit with that and they wrestle with that, while also simultaneously holding the excitement for the people who are coming. And they try to balance that without disrespect or disregard for what's been done and what is. But it's okay to have a both and. It's okay to grieve those who are leaving and to be afraid of what's unknown. And it's okay to be excited for what's coming and the hope for the future. That's a part of our humanity and our reality, and it's a part of our work. So no matter where you are, if you're a person who is remaining and you're feeling those deep feelings or not, you're just going through la 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 la, cool as a cucumber. Or you're one of those people who's coming in new and you're excited about the new journey, but terrified all at once. Or you're a person who's transitioning out and you're terrified, but excited about your new journey. Wherever you are in this transition, in this shift, as we go from one fiscal year to the next, from one school year into the next, I pray that you find time to sit still and rest as you go into July. July is huge and it's an amazing month, but it requires, especially in education, a space for you as a leader to sit still and rest. 2 weeks consecutive is what I require, what I highly recommend. It's not always easy. It's not always doable. But I highly recommend 2 solid weeks, because it often takes just that long for you to disconnect and for your brain to stop. Usually by the end of the second week, you're actually getting into the flow of relaxation. And if you're in a space where you're blessed to have the whole month of July off, it's a blessing and a curse, as we know, because that's when the hiring gets done. If you're in a space where you're able to really have the whole month off, then you're really able to rest. But whatever your situation may be, take time to rest, to reflect, to restore, so that you can be the best version of you possible. You need to be able to process through this last school year. What went well? What didn't? What do you want to improve? What do you want to keep? What did your team absolutely knock out the park? And what were areas that were a struggle? What were key conflicts that came up? What were common themes that were shared? What was consistent feedback, positive and negative, that you and your team received? And then how do you take that to make sure that you're really, really making the next step decisions, be it for this organization or another, to be the best version of you as a leader and a person? How do you make sure that you're reflecting back on the voices of the children as the primary stakeholders, or whatever key population you serve? I'm speaking from a place of education leadership, because that's what I do. But leadership in general, we all have cycles and seasons. So whatever your space is, whether it's education, whether it's corporate America, whether it's ministry, whatever it is that you're called to, if you are a leader in the space, on any level. The leader of your department, the leader of your team, the leader of your grade level, the leader of the building, whatever level. If you are a leader, I implore you to just sit and pause and rest and reflect and recharge and catch your breath so that you don't keep taking deep breaths and forgetting to exhale, or thinking that you can't afford to exhale because you don't know if you'll have the energy to take another breath. Whatever this past year has put you through, believe it or not, you're halfway through it. The past school year is over, but we're halfway through this calendar year. So how do you take what you've learned? How do you take where you are and flip that thing to move it to the next? I encourage you to rest, to reflect, and to restore so that you can be the best version of you during this season of transition. As we are midway through the calendar year, what do you want to say that you were able to do as you end this year of 2026 on December 31st, 6 months away? And what do you want to say that you've accomplished when you get halfway through your next school year or your next job year, whatever it may be? Reflect on that and think, what do I need to do different or the same as I go into this next part of the season to be the best version of me that God created me to be? I hope that you have an amazing day. I pray that you pause and give yourself permission to rest. And I pray that you do what is necessary for you to be the healthiest version of you. Because as a leader, you cannot serve from an empty cup. Because when you do, you will give people your steam. You will give them your nasty, even if you don't want to. Because nothing good comes out of our exhaustion. So rest, refuel, reset, and have an amazing, outstanding season of transition. And whatever is coming up for you next, I trust and believe that it's going to take you higher. You're going to be better. But it's imperative for you to rest and reflect and then to plan forward. Don't get stuck in the mistakes of the past. And don't let the hurt of this past season take you out. Seek God. Seek His face. Seek His calling. Seek His wisdom. But be sure to give yourself permission to heal, permission to feel, but not to get stuck. Exhale and go be the best version of you as you plan your next steps forward. Have an amazing and outstanding fit admin life. And may your June 30th be an outstanding day of breathing and releasing as you prepare to step into July 1st to move into the next season of greatness. Have an outstanding and amazing day, everyone.